is our guest, a very distinguished criminal investigator, formerly with the Justice Department, antitrust. Have a lot of other great people that are working with him. Emmy award-winning researcher Leslie Dutton, filmmaker. The details are online at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com and some of the other great sites that are out there. The disclosure, FullDisclosure.net as well, FullDisclosure.net. But the Supreme Court, out of 10,000 cases a year, has decided to start hearing this case at the preliminary level next Friday. And so there's no courts in between really here. It's just going right to the Supreme Court, which is amazing. So, Richard, go ahead.
What happened, Alex, is that we went through all the courts. We went through from the California Superior Court. You know, we went through the California Court of Appeals, the California Supreme Court, the United States District
I didn't know that. I guess there's several cases. Several cases involved then. But, I mean, to be clear, give us the name of the case.
The name of the case, the name of the case that
your call may be monitored or recorded.
The name of the case that the Supreme Court is going to be hearing is Richard I. Fine versus the Sheriff of Los Angeles County. And that's the case that I'm being held on. The underlying case is the case of Marina Strand Colony 2 Homeowners Association versus the County of Los Angeles. And that's the case that we started talking about right before the break. Now, the interesting thing about that case is that shows even more corruption. Because what happened in that case is you had a developer, and the developer's company name was Delray Shores Joint Venture and Delray Shores Joint Venture North. But it was owned but the managing partner is a guy by the name of Jerry B. Epstein. But Epstein and his chief of staff, Robert David O. Levine, they gave money, campaign contributions, sound familiar, to the two supervisors, Michael Antonovich and Don Kanabi. And they gave this money to Kanabi and Antonovich in April of 2007. Now remember that date, because here's how the story comes down the line. These people wanted to redevelop an apartment complex in Marina del Rey, California. And they wanted to expand it from 250-some units to 500 and some units. In order to do that, they needed an environmental impact report. And as part of the environmental impact report, you show how it's going to affect the environment. And one of the other things, you have to show that it'll have a positive financial impact on L.A. County. Now, the interesting thing here is that Marina del Rey is the largest small craft yacht harbor in the United States. It started out with 6,000 boat slips, now down to about 4,000. The county owns the land, and what the county does is the county leases out the land to these developers who put apartment complexes on the land, and then they end up paying the county for the use of the land. I'm going to digress slightly here to show you how bad this is. These developers they're taking in about $350 million a year in rent from these apartments. They pay the county approximately $35 million a year for the land. They should be paying the county approximately $100 million a year for the land. So the taxpayers in L.A. County are losing $70 million a year in land rent from the developers. In the last 10 years, the taxpayers in Los Angeles County have lost approximately $1 billion in rent. Now,
your call may be monitored or recorded.
How does this come about? It comes about because of the fact that the developers give campaign contributions to the supervisors. The supervisors end up with these sweetheart contracts with the developers, so the developers pay this low amount of rent. And that's what happened here.
Well, let's be clear. Let's be clear, because I notice that all the time in Austin, where I live. I've got to pay all these property taxes, business taxes, but big corporations come in. They make political contributions, and the city says, we waive your property tax for 10 years. We waive your environmental fees. We waive everything. because they've made political contributions. But separately, to me here, the big case, regardless, is that I'm no lawyer, but I know the Supreme Court has held over and over again, the police can't hold you for more than 5 days without, basically charging you. So they're violating habeas corpus here, are they not?
That's right, and that's the case that's up before the Supreme Court. But let me get through the background to show you how we get to that case. So what happened is that these supervisors voted on the EIR, but the law in California, a case called Break Zone Billiards versus the City of Torrance, says that if a supervisor gets paid greater than $500 in a campaign contribution within 12 months of a vote, he can neither advocate for the developer nor can he vote on the particular project.
He must recuse.
He must recuse, exactly. Well, Kanabi and Antonovich both advocated and voted on the project. Now, there were 4 votes, so 2 of them were illegal, which meant that the EIR, the vote on the EIR, was illegal. I came in and I sued to stop that EIR in the court. And we came in front of Judge Yaffe. Now, what happened is that Judge Yaffe is getting this $46,000 from the county. They're the bribe. So you know what happens. It turns out that Judge Yaffe allows the thing to go through. Now, during the course of this case, we have another thing that happens. We have the state bar making me inactive. And the side part of that is that the judges had gone to the state bar to try and get me disbarred and be inactive because I had brought the same type of case against the judges back in 2002, saying that these payments violated the California Constitution and the due process clause of the U.S. Constitution. So the judges went to the state bar.
And did you win that previous case? Did you win that previous case?
So it was dismissed on jurisdictional grounds in the federal court. However, in 2008, the California Court of Appeals held that these payments were illegal and
your call may be monitored. Or
Start over, because again, our friend is a political prisoner in jail, Richard Fine, right now, so they keep popping in with the call may be monitored. Now, go back. So you had the California Court of Appeals rule in favor of you.
Court of Appeals.
Because you were citing another ruling. Please continue.
Okay. The California Court of Appeals held in 2008 in a case called Sturgeon versus the County of Los Angeles that the payments by L.A. County to the judges violated Article 6, Section 19 of the California Constitution. And that was the exact thing that I claimed in my 2002 case. So what the state bar was doing to me was violating what the California Court of Appeals was holding to be true.
Let me stop you again. I mean, that's cities are chartered under the state constitution through the counties. The power comes from the state and the elected legislature. This is ass backwards, as they say, where L.A. County is trying to absorb and take the judges literally under its control. But Sacramento's not concerned about that. The Court of Appeals was and ruled for you, because then didn't they quietly pass a law, if I read this right, giving immunity to these judges?
Absolutely right. What happened is that after the Sturgeon decision came down, what the state did is that the state legislature passed a law saying that they gave retroactive immunity to the supervisors and the judges from criminal prosecution, civil liability, and administrative and disciplinary action. So because they knew that these people had done wrong, and the criminal part of it was misappropriation of funds.
Okay, we're running out of time, so finish up with what happened to you. We're running out of time, Mr. Fine. Finish up with what happened to you, and then now your year-plus incarceration, and they won't even tell the media why you're there. They just say that's where he stays now.